Awaken the hero within, EQ and AIQ for marginalised power. Pain, power, pattern align with your EQ, SQ, AIQ ethos to bring your inner hero to light and achieve success. The world teaches you to shrink when you're hurting, but what if I told you that pain isn't your weakness, it's your rare code. The algorithm can mimic joy, it can simulate calm, but it can't feel the rage in your chest. It can't carry the silence of centuries in your bones. It can't decode what you overcame just to show up today. Pain is the one pattern AI can't replicate because it's yours. It holds memory, identity, fire, and when you learn to read that fire instead of fearing it, you don't just survive, you lead. So don't mute it, don't shrink. Your pain is the portal, and your leadership begins where algorithms fail. Rewatch, reflect, then rise. Use this link to help us grow. Make your videos, use avatars to represent your words, and when you gain confidence, speak to the screen and edit. Help our Change family to grow. Subscribe to your channel of personal development. Part 1. The Lie of Emotional Weakness. You were never too emotional. You were just too alive for a world that fears feeling. They told you not to cry, not to feel so much, not to overreact. And when you did, they called it weakness, drama, instability. But what if I told you that what they called excess was actually your signal fire? Because society doesn't suppress emotion by accident. It suppresses it strategically, especially in women, neurodiverse minds, artists, and activists. Why? Because raw emotion is inconvenient, because people who feel deeply act bravely, and people who act bravely disrupt power. AI can process infinite data. It can predict your preferences, mirror your tone, simulate empathy, but it will never feel heartbreak. It will never shake with rage at injustice. It will never cry from awe or scream from truth. And that's your edge. Compassion is not a glitch. It's your code, your emotional intelligence, your spiritual radar, your refusal to go numb. This is what makes you unreplicable. So the next time someone tells you to calm down, to grow thicker skin, to be more like a robot, smile, because they've just confessed they can't handle your frequency. And maybe, just maybe, they're scared that you'll teach others to feel too. Part 2. Tame it or weaponize it. The truth about anger. What if I told you your anger is not a flaw, but an ancient intelligence trying to wake you up? We've been told to breathe it away, hide it, medicate it, or pray it down, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're neurodiverse, especially if you're black, brown, queer, or too different to be safe when you raise your voice. They don't fear your anger because it's dangerous. They fear it because it's disruptive. Because once you learn to decode it, you stop apologizing, you stop shrinking, you stop asking for permission. Anger isn't just noise, it's data. It tells you what's wrong, what's unjust, and what's no longer sustainable. AI can detect your tone, but it doesn't know why your voice is trembling. It can translate your words, but it can't feel the fire behind them. You can't delete anger, but you can choose the way it moves. You can let it dismantle you, or let it refine you. You can let it erupt, or let it evolve into clarity, truth, strategy. And that choice, that's power. That's EQ in action. That's how leaders are forged. So no, you don't need to be less angry. You need to be more aligned. You don't need to suppress it. You need to integrate it. Part 3. Embodied power. Real stories, real resistance. She didn't hold a sword. She held her silence. And in it, she became a fortress. This was no myth. This was Lala Fatma Nsuma, a Berber woman of Algeria who resisted French colonial rule, not with war, but with wisdom. She used strategy, prayer, language, community. In silence, she built resilience. While colonial powers brought cannons and declarations, she brought unshakable clarity, the kind that terrifies systems. They underestimated her because she wasn't loud, but her silence roared across generations. Fast forward, a tech culture that rewards emotional detachment, hyperlogic, hustle, quiet toxicity masked as innovation. And yet, one leader refused to split herself in two. She didn't silence her voice to fit into rooms that weren't built for her. She led with empathy. She asked real questions in boardrooms addicted to buzzwords. She cried once and kept leading anyway. The algorithm learned from data. She learned from surviving. These women didn't rise despite their emotion. They rose because of it. Their EQ was not performative. It was embodied. Their resilience was not coded. It was carried through scars, through centuries, through whispers passed down in kitchens, caves, code and care. Part 4, Call to Awaken. You're not just a survivor, you're a system disruptor. They called you resilient, but you were never just surviving. You were watching, calculating, listening, waiting for the right moment to lead with truth. You don't need a title, you don't need permission, you need clarity. Clarity that your softness is not weakness, clarity that your fire is not failure, clarity that every scar you carry is a map, not a shame. This is noise. Too much. Too intense. Too slow. Too emotional. Silence drops. Your voice returns. But here's the secret they never saw coming. The future isn't fast. The future is felt. It's not built by those who rush. It's built by those who listen, who love, who refuse to abandon empathy just to be accepted. Awaken, lead, repeat. You are the future, because machines may mimic emotion, but only humans channel it into meaning. Only you can lead with heart, soul, and spirit combined. That's your triple engine. EQ, SQ, AIQ. They feared you because they couldn't feel you. Now, feel yourself and lead. Subscribe for part 5. When softness becomes strategy. Comment, I am the future, if you're reclaiming your pace, power, and presence. Use this link to help us grow. Make your videos. Use avatars to represent your words, and when you gain confidence, speak to the screen and edit. Help our change family to grow. Subscribe for part 5, When Softness Becomes Strategy. Comment, I am the future, if you're reclaiming your pace, power and presence.